Hello, today I'm at Oakland Yoga Studio, which is my favorite yoga studio in the Bay Area. It's too cold outside to practice, so I'm indoors today. And for practice today, I recommend you have a belt or strap, 2 blocks, and something to sit on. I've got a blanket. And find a comfortable place to sit. Take a nice inhalation, exhale. We're going to play with building downward facing dog today. So first, let's get into the spine a little. So begin to rock back and forth. So take your sit bones forward. Come onto the back edge of your sit bones. Come onto the front edge of your sit bones. Get your arms to move with that. Get your breath to move. Just to get into the spine a little. Exhale to round. Inhale to open. And notice when you go between the 2 spots that there might be some place in the middle where you feel you get the most length in your spine without arching the back too much. So begin to make the movements a little smaller till you find that spot. And let's take a little time here to breathe. So sit bones ground, spine lengthen. Let the shoulder blades release. Roll your arms to your palms face up towards the ceiling. And let your breath flow. Take a little time to tune in. With your next inhalation, begin to make your breath a little more active, bringing a sense of expansiveness as you inhale. As you exhale, sit bones ground, spine lengthens. Expand with the inhalation, lengthen with the exhalation. And then let your eyes open. Take hold of the strap between your thumb and forefinger, and with your next inhalation, take your arms up. Ground down to lift up, getting that length. Find those places between the ribs. Good. And then release down, but keep your spine long and come into Dandasana. Take your feet out in front. Wiggle your toes a little bit. And then bend your knees. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Press your hands into your thighs, thighs into your hands. Extend your legs. So Dandasana, I think, is about as close as we get to a seated pose with the potential for being in downward facing dog. So first thing to recognize in relationship to your downward facing dog is, can you sit with your spine long? So I asked you at the beginning of class to find enough height so you can, but experiment a little bit to see what happens if you come off the height. Do you find that you round a little? Or can you be on the front edge of your sit bones? Just something to notice, because if it's very hard for you to sit without height, it's going to be very hard for you to have a lot of length in your downward facing dog with your legs straight, and for sure with your heels on the ground. You won't be able to have a long spine if your heels are on the ground. So just something to pay attention to notice the relationship between the two. So come back onto your height where you can get the most length in your spine, and take hold of the strap between your thumb and forefinger and take the strap up. See, kind of like downward facing dog. Breathe. Turn your palms to face each other. Whoa. Lengthen up. Turn the palms to face forward. Now, can you keep your arms just where they are? Your upper arms where they are, and turn your lower arms to face each other. Reach up, reach up, reach up. And then, if it's accessible, walk the strap a little closer. And then turn just the lower arms, not the upper arms, to face forward. Very much like downward facing dog. Good. And then release your arms. Put the strap off to the side. Let's come into a puppy pose. So come onto your hands and knees. Spread your fingers gently, tuck your toes under. Have your knees under your hips, and then extend your left arm as far as it will go. Extend your right arm as far as it will go. Root down with the thumb and forefinger. Root down with the base of the fifth and fourth finger. Look between your hands. Notice, did you sink your ribs? Keep them integrated, and then keep looking forward. Lean back. Keep looking forward. Lean back. Engaging the arms very strongly. Breathe. Now root down a little bit more with the base finger of your pinky, the base of your pinky finger, the base of your fourth finger, and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze all the muscles you can find along your arms. You might find some connections between to those fingers. And lift your third and second finger, your pointer finger, middle finger, however you define the numbers of the fingers. And let your head come down a little so your ears are the height of your arms. Keep that strong action in the arms. Breathe. Then bring the third finger on down and the second finger on down. Keep hugging the muscles of the arms. And then exhale, child's pose. Let your arms release. Next inhalation, come up to sitting. Again, have as much height as you need to sit comfortably with a long spine. Start in Dandasana. Wiggle the toes. And then bend your left knee and take your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. And you can keep the right leg there or shift the weight, bend the knee. So you hug your knees in towards your chest. Nice long spine. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, feel the extension. At your own pace with your own breath, with the next exhalation, begin to spiral towards your left. When you finish the exhalation, stop there. Inhale, lift and lengthen. So if your hands are still on your knees, that's going to restrict how far you can go. So let your left hand go, wrap your right hand around the shin. And don't use the hand too much to pull you into the twist today. Use the muscles of the spine. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, spiral. What does this have to do with downward facing dog, you might wonder? It's all about the spine. So getting the spine to spiral gets the spinal fluid moving. The movement and the discs get a little more nourishment. Makes for a happier spine. One more inhalation. On the exhalation, unwind. Keeping your spine long. Extend both legs. Wiggle the toes. And then second side. So second side, right leg to the outside of the left. If that doesn't work, you can have the foot inside the thigh. Option to stay here or lean a little, bend the opposite leg. Use the hands on the knee to extend the spine, and as you exhale, spiral. When you get as far as you can go with the hands holding the knee, go ahead and let go of the right hand. Wrap your left hand around the shin. Take your time. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, spiral. One more inhalation. On your exhalation, unwind. Back to center. Good. And then release. Let's come back into puppy pose. Tuck your toes under. And tuck them fairly strongly. And lean back a little first. Now, reach your right hand forward, left hand forward. Look between the hands and strongly draw your shoulder blades down your back. Nice inhalation. Exhale, lean back a little bit more. Not quite all the way. Then walk your hands a little forward. Keep looking forward between your hands. Actually, look up a little bit. Press down with the palms. Lift the chest a little bit. Good. And then lower your head a little. Reach back. And child's pose. Inhale, come on up to sitting. And find your strap. And then lie on down. I'm actually so excited to do this pose right now. Simple Supta Padangusthasana can feel so good. So let's get ready for it by lying on the back. Be careful that your ribs are not flying up towards the sky. You might have a lift under your head, your shoulders. And reach through your heels. Take a strap between your thumb and forefinger. And reach your arms overhead. Keeping the rib cage stable. Reach through the base of the big toes. Lengthen your arms overhead. Breathe. Next exhalation, bring your left knee in towards your chest. Take the strap on your left foot. Extend the left leg. I like to wrap my hands around the strap. Press your foot into the strap, strap into the foot. For now, let the right leg be relaxed. Different ways to practice this pose. Focus on the left leg, and especially the long reach through the left leg. Open up the spaces between the toes. And then take the leg a little back and a little forward. Still keeping the right leg released. And then find a spot to hold that feels good. As you hold that spot, hug the muscles of your thigh. So you're engaging them, but have a sense of engaging them so they go closer to the bone. And as the muscle of the thigh, the quadriceps, go closer to the bone goes closer to the hamstring to lengthen that leg. So you get a lot of length even as you go deeper into it. So no bending for now. Good, and then release. Let that leg go. Same thing, second side. Bend the right knee. Take the strap up. Hold the leg. Find a position. Base of the toes. Breathe. Pelvis to remain stable as much as possible. Mine was moving a little bit. And then find a spot again and really work the leg. Work the leg strongly. Bring the muscle at the front of the thigh to the bone. So quadriceps go, instead of squeezing them and then dancing away, squeeze them to create a sense of connection. And as the quadriceps go closer, the hamstring lengthens. So it's this action. That's the best way I can describe it right now. Good. And then release, bend the right knee, feel the legs next to each other. And a little tetrasana, moving your arms and legs. Roll over to your side. Come back up to Dandasana. Maybe it's a little different now. I want to play with that thigh action again. So in Dandasana, take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Press your hands into your thighs, thighs into your hands. Firm the shoulder blades, and then start with your left leg. Begin to straighten the leg, and once you get a little bit straighter, you'll begin to access the quadricep muscles. And instead of them kind of bulking up and flying upwards, can you bring them closer to the bone as you straighten the leg? So you get a leg that's like a beautiful pillar. Right? All right, and then release that. Same thing, second side. Take your hand to the back of the right foot. Open the space between the toes. Muscle hugs. A little squeak in there. Good, and release. And now both legs. Hands to thighs. Press the hands into thighs, thighs into the hands. Straighten the legs. Maybe wiggle so you're up on the front of your sit bones. Aha, then get the strap, take your arms on up. Thigh bones ground, spine lengthens. Breathe. Keep your gaze forward. Breathe. Keep the spine long as you release your arms. If Baddha Konasana feels good, take a moment in Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together. All right, and then Upavista Konasana. Just getting a little, well, let's do it actually with your knees bent to start with. Looks kind of like a spider from this angle. Sit bones, ground, spine lengthen. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs and slowly extend the legs. Top of thighs to bone. Good. Maybe if it feels good to hinge forward a little, play with that, only if it feels good. Only if you can keep the length in your spine as you do it. Okay, and then inhale, come back up. Find your strap, and if you haven't already made a loop with your strap, make your strap into a loop. That's pretty long. Let's see. This one's all messed up. All right, so if you've got the buckly things, you know you do the over-under, the under-over, under-over, loop, and then lie down on your back. Take the tail of the strap, so it's facing toward your toes. Bring the strap around your hip points and make the strap long, just long enough so it goes around the ball of your feet and your hip point. Or right under your hip point. And then bring your left knee into your chest. Oh, that was not quite the right distance for me, so I'm going to tighten the left leg a little bit as I now reach actively through the right leg. So encouraging my hip points to be even with each other. Now if I had two straps, which there are since I'm in the studio, but you might not have two straps, so I'm going to do it as if I only had one strap. I'm going to take my hand to the back of the thigh and move towards straightening the leg. Now the focus here, now if you find that you can't quite straighten the leg to 90 degrees, then keep the knee bent. The focus I want is really the reach through the grounded leg to deepen the crease at the top of your thigh, so that when you reach through the grounded leg, the one that's on the ground, you get a pull at the top of the hip on the left side. So strong reach through now. The bottom leg, maybe reach through the top leg, maybe the top leg is bent. Either way is fine. Most importantly, you're breathing. Good. And then bend the left knee. Release, feel your legs next to each other. And then second side. So to bring the strap, I like to use my feet to turn the strap around. You can try that, or you can just get up and turn the strap around. It's kind of fun to build that skill. So now the tail of the strap is by my right hip. I'm going to keep the left leg active. Remember, hugging the muscle to the bone. Lengthen the hamstring, which is the back of the thigh. Bring the right knee in towards my chest. Decide if I need a little tighter. Breathe. Press the left foot into the strap. Take your hand to the back of the thigh. Extend the leg on up. Foot into strap. Here, maybe bend the knee a little. Re-extend the right leg. Hug the muscle to the bone. And then release. Good, feel the legs next to each other. And again, a little Tetrasana. Tetrasana your way to all fours. And grab your blocks. So I want to do a little bit more to get this crease at the top of the thigh, which today will actually be feeling a lunge. So take your left foot forward between your hands and tuck your back toes under. Reach long through your back heel. Take the left thumb to your left hip point. And feel the skin on the upper outer left thigh. Drag it back towards the back heel. Just getting a strong stability in the lunge. Long reach through the back leg. Now, the tendency is to kind of let that back leg be sleepy. Press the thigh up towards the sky by engaging the muscles, the top of the thigh. Press that into the bone to lengthen through the hamstring. And breathe from shoulder blades. And then release. Take a moment. Circle your pelvis 3 times one direction, and 3 times the other direction. Get your groove on. And then second side. Right foot forward, left foot into the lunge. Long reach through the back leg, lengthen through the spine, breathe. Press the thigh into the bone, into the hamstring. Breathe. And then release. And again, 3 pelvic circles to the right. And 3 to the left. And take a puppy pose. Take your blocks off to the side, tuck your toes under, and extend. The arms, root down with the thumb, forefinger, lean back. Work the arms like crazy. And then child's pose. Good. And then come back up to the lunge and do one more lunge. And go ahead and take your left foot forward. I'm going to do my right foot so I can face you. But take your left foot forward, tuck your back toes under like we did earlier. Reach along through the back heel. Then walk your left foot a little bit to the left. So you're going to have a little more space of how the heel and the front heel and the back arch line up. And then begin to pivot your back heel. As you pivot the back heel, keep as much as possible the left hip where it is. Take your hand onto your sacrum, right hand onto the sacrum. So we come towards Parsvakonasana. Right? Spiral the spine open. Pay attention to the reach through the back leg. Option to stay here. Take the arm up. Take your arm overhead. Find the one more inhalation. And then go ahead, unwind. Release the back heel. Legs come to meet each other, and this time hip circles, so bigger circles around. And then switch directions. All right, and second side. Right foot forward, find the lunge. Then walk your right foot a little to the right and pivot. Bring your left hand onto the sacrum. Spiral the spine open. Maybe stay here, take the arm up towards the ceiling, take your arm overhead, Parsvakonasana, side angle. One more inhalation, and then unwind, release the back heel. Take the legs back towards each other. 3 hip circles to the right. Three hip circles to the left. And then make your way up to sitting, because now it's time for a downward facing dog. So when I started this class, I knew we were going to do dog pose, and I forgot one thing, which was to have you do it at the beginning to see what it felt like, so that you could compare it to what it is now. However, I will put that in the notes, so I hope you read the notes and tried a dog pose before you started, and now you get to see what it feels like after all those preparatory poses. Another big important preparation, if you have a shirt that flies around, tuck your shirt under. Find the position by coming into child's pose again, but this time take your arms overhead. Look up for a moment and lift your fingers. Reach through the 4th finger, that 5th finger, find the engagement of your arms. Then lift your hips up, tuck your toes under, lift your knees up and back, and lengthen. Focus on getting the length in the spine as you keep the arms nice and long. Let your head release. Check out your feet. Can they be parallel to each other? And then very slowly move towards straightening your leg. If at any point in time you feel your lower back round, keep your knees a little bit bent. You might, like I am doing right now, wiggle your feet a little further backwards. Sometimes it's better to get a longer distance between hands and feet. And then breathe with the pose. Feeling that crease at the top of the thigh that we played with. Feeling the length in the thighs, engagement, the front of the thigh, moving back, the base of the palms pressing forward, all to help lengthen the spine. And breathe. At any point in time, come into child's pose. Otherwise, stay here a little longer. Maybe lift your heels as high as they will go. Take your sit bones up and back. And then reach them far back as you lower the heels a little bit towards the floor again. Not in a rush, so it's fine if they don't touch the floor. You might even look and see the shape of the feet as the heels move in the direction of the floor. And then take a child's pose, bend your knees. Take a little longer exhalation. And then when you're ready, one more time. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Reach your hands forward, spread the fingers. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up. Lengthen the legs, and this time play around a little. Bend one knee, bend the opposite knee. However it feels good for you to play. You know, it's a very common practice to bend the knee and open up the hip. I don't do that very often because it seems a little precarious, actually, for the hip joint. But if it feels great once in a while, it's all right to do that, I think, if you do it carefully. I like to do it with my other leg bent. That way it seems to be better in the hip joint. And maybe play with the other side. But notice I'm not going all the way back. I'm not hanging in the joint. That's when it becomes a problem, hanging in the joint. I'm very aware of the movement of the joint and using my standing leg to support the leg I'm standing right now, my left leg, to support and activate the muscles there, so not to just hang into it. I'm going to take that leg down if it was up, back into dog pose. Experiment a little, walk your hands a little further forward. Reach through the legs. And then when you are ready, come into child's pose. Whatever child's pose works for you. And then inhale. Come back up to sitting. And go ahead, lie down on your back. Let your body breathe. Let your back feel the floor. Bring your hands to your hip points. Do a little more hip opening. Take your left ankle over your right thigh. There, keep your hands on your hip points and keep your hip points even with each other. Bring your right knee into your chest. Maybe circle the right leg a little one direction, little the other direction. Take your arms out to your side. And then slowly, well, first bring your right foot on the floor. Let's have a little more connection to the ground. And then begin to turn your upper body to your left as you bring your legs over to the right. So come into a gentle twist while being in the hip opening. Breathe. I like how this creates length in the lower belly. And then initiate with the right leg. Bring the knees back up. Place your feet on the floor. And second side, right ankle over left. Bring the left knee into your chest. Little circle, left leg one direction. Other direction. And then place your left foot on the floor and go over to the left with the legs, upper body to the right. And then use the left leg to lift up and place your right foot on the floor. Slide your arms a little closer. It's time for Shavasana. So go ahead and extend your legs. With your arms by your side. Close your eyes. Let your breath flow. And let the flow of the breath guide you to Shavasana, to relaxation. And then slowly and gently bring your awareness back to your body, back to your breath. And bring a little movement to your fingers. Bring a little movement to your toes. Reach a little through your arms, reach a little through your legs. And then bend one knee at a time. Roll over to your side. And make your way back up to sitting. Take a moment. Bring your palms together over your heart. As the palms press in towards each other, again, find that length in your spine. And may the practice support spinal health, spinal length, spinal liveliness with the guidance to experience a greater sense of comfort, joy, ease, and freedom. Namaste. Right. Thank you for watching. So downward facing dog, quite interesting. Today I focused on how to build really many of the lower body parts. You may have experienced that. There's a lot of components to downward facing dog, and it can be a very, very challenging pose for people who have a lot of tightness, but also people who have a lot of flexibility. So I encourage you to play around with it, to practice it. Notice how it feels at different times of the day when you've done different things. Also, when it can be, eventually people talking about how it can become a resting pose. And I think once you find the alignment and you have the mobility in your joints, that's really true. Sometimes when I don't have a lot of time to practice, I also find it's just a great rejuvenating pose as a way to lengthen the spine. Right? One of the gifts of yoga is that focus on lengthening the spine, and lengthening the spine gives so much energy and life and gets the life force flow in. So I hope you can experience that through dog pose and other ways. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Aloha.